Hi everyone. Today I am speaking about writing formal mails. This is also in the syllabus of CA Foundation Business Correspondence, and this could be helpful for anyone who wants to learn how to write formal mails. So here I begin with, first of all, there is email, that is electronic mail, which is in day-to-day use we all have to use, and there are types of email. First one is formal email, that is for business and customers. Second one is semi-formal, which is used for colleagues and team. Colleagues and team means in the office, that is intra-environment, for communicating between the colleagues, for communicating between the branches. This could be said as semi-formal email. Formal one is which is you are using for your clients, your customers, and informal one is for friends and relatives. That is which we are actually using in day to day WhatsApp and everything, the social media platforms, which could be said as informal communication. That is in that way only. If you are communicating through a email with a friend or relative, then it is an informal email. In informal email, it doesn't matter whether your spelling is your, or you are your. But in formal and semi-formal, such things will matter. So over here, we are going to focus on the formal mails, writing formal email. Now, first of all, over here, what are the stages in email? First of all, it is composing. The composing of the email, which we are going to study in detail today. And after that, you are sending that email. Then that email is stored in on your Gmail ID or any other ID that you're using, and then that is received. So this is the process of a mail being uh, sent. That is, you are writing, then it is sent, then it is stored while it is transferred, and then it is received by the receiver. This is the stages involved in that. Okay, so moving further, discussing about the format of email writing over here. Now, format of email writing over here, if I see, so over here, first of all, from. So from, that is sender email address. Suppose you are sending an email, then your email address will be shown here. Suppose a bank is sending an email to its customers for stock statements, reminder of submitting stock statement, quarterly stock statement, then the bank is going to be the sender over here. Now, to whom it is sending? So it is sending to its clients. So the client's name will be displayed over here in the receivers field. And CC means carbon copy. That is the same mail is being sent to other individuals. So over here in 2, there will be one client's email ID, whereas in CC, there will be the other list of customers which are also there. You have to mention over here. Now, BCC means over here blank carbon copy. Now, blank carbon copy can be used for suppose sending to any higher authority, that we have sent the emails or copies sent to a higher authority. Suppose an employee sending a mail for its employer, then in BCC you can mention the employer's email ID over here, so that the employer knows that you have sent such mail on behalf of them. So over here in BCC, what happens, the email IDs of the BCC receivers is not visible to the recipient of the mail, but his or her ID is visible to the BCC receivers. So recipient means if the receiver is the over here one, so this is not going to be seen by that receiver that the mail has been also sent to someone else. That is the point. Okay, and now the subject matter. Now it is very important that what is the subject for which you are sending in mail, so that the receiver has an idea in itself beforehand only that for what reason this mail has come to him. What is the communication? What is the reason behind such communicating such mail by the bank? So this subject over here will be requirement of this quarterly stock statement. So it will be very easy for the receiver to know that what exactly this mail is about. That the salutation. Salutation over here is such as the dear Mr. Price. It is always good to address the recipient by name over here. It is said by name or by surname, or by any other name which is used in business context. If suppose for someone, then that could be mentioned over here. So over here we can mention respected sir, madam, dear so and so, whatever name it is there. And then after such things, you will have the main body. Now the main body, it contains main content of the mail. The opening paragraph should outline the main idea or reason for the mail. So the main reason is the quarterly statement. Again, you are going to mention over here. Following paragraph give relevant details. So relevant details means for which quarter, which year do you want the statement. That all will be mentioned in detail. The account number, and for whatever, if there are any other pending things about that account, then that will be mentioned over here. The closing after the main body, the closing, that finally that whatever concluding statements you want to make, that send us the stock statement by so and so date, or by so and so week. This all could be mentioned in the closing thing. Or suppose any reminder has to be given, so over here the reminders can also be given. Attachment. Now the attachment over here, bank will attach if any reference it wants to mention. Or for suppose if the receiver is sending the quarterly statement to you through mail, so the attached statement will be over here into the attachments when he sends it. The signature line includes signature, name, designation of sender. The lastly, now the signature line over here, it may include email address and telephone number for convenience of recipient. So over here, the last point is always key who is sending the mail. Matlab, this is already prepared by the business people. Professionals also, their name, then what is their designation, what is their address, telephone number, so that whenever it goes, that is the further person knows that this mail is on behalf of so and so person, and if you have to contact, if you have to inquire about anything, then this is the telephone number or this is the email ID. Moving further, the important points now writing the mail over here is that there should be clarity. Very much clear and also short and simple mail should be there. For big or lengthy discussions, mail is not suggested. Short, simple, and clearly, all the points should be clearly mentioned over here, so that there is clarity that this statement is required for this quarter, it is required for this year, it is required, and this is the due date. There should be no vague that for this so and so point, or send it immediately, or send it as per your convenience. Such things should not be used. Okay, now first of all, so there should be clarity. Secondly, make points. So if there are 2-3 things to be reminded of, reminders are to be given, then write in points so that it is easy for the receiver to understand. And then the tone and language. Now the tone and language should be very polite, nicely written. You cannot say that you send me by tomorrow, otherwise I will sue your account or something like that. You have to be very polite and kindly send such and such information, so that we can go through that. So that is what is required over here. And always send your mail through official ID. So be polite, be kind while stating the mail, so that there is no problem while communicating that this is something which is coming as harsh. That state subject clear, object and subject and object clearly. Whatever the subject is there, that should be clear. Otherwise, the recipient can be confused that what exactly the mail is about, what it is trying to communicate. If he doesn't understand, then he may not reply properly, and there will be waste of time. Okay, then there is separate para for separate points. So always if there are more than other things required, suppose if for a customer you also require some other details, some KYC update with the stock statement, so that should be mentioned into separate paragraph. So separate paragraph should be used for separate points. Do not write entire email in capital letters. Now, some people have that some reminders or the email is very important, so I'll write it into capital letters. No, that is not a good way of communicating. It does not look good when the receiver receives it. It is going to read. That is not convenient for the receiver to read into the capital letters. So you have to be the first letter capital and the other small letters. Then underline and highlight key points. Suppose if there is a date, that is a due date up to which the stock statement has to be sent by the customer, then highlight and underline such date, so that the main point, the main crux could be seen. You can also highlight the quarter. Suppose it is June 2022 to August 2022 you're requiring, so such points should be highlighted, underlined. Then there should be proofread at last. You should proofread, you should check the grammar, you should check the spellings, you should once again go through the mail that it is properly drafted, that there is no mistake into it, and then you should send. Now this mail, actually email IDs can be used for a lot of when you are communicating to a lot of people, when your day-to-day communication processes are required. This should not be used for any specific or such as confidential matters. This is said there. And while communicating, we have to be very clear when you're communicating formal mails about your language. You cannot use any short forms over here. If you use short form, it does not make it a good kind of communication. So be very clear, write the full form of everything. That is better to do always. So this is all about writing formal mails I wanted to explain you today. Thank you.